Joining us now to explain, Senate Majority Leader John Thune is with us. I want to get into this Obamacare thing. The promise was keep your doctor, keep your plan. Average family saves over $2,500 a year. All right, the results are in. Millions lost doctors, millions lost their plan. Average American paying anywhere from 225% to over 300% more. And for about 40% of the country, you have one, or if you're lucky, two Obamacare exchange options. You are funneled into whatever they give you. Okay, you went on the Senate floor this week and you spelled out an alternative that would put money in people's pockets. They get to decide how to spend those dollars.
That's right, Sean, and there are lots of flaws in Obamacare, but all the promises, none of them came to fruition. It was all a big lie, and I think the American people are onto it. And to your point, you know, they made these promises was going to drive health care costs down. If you look at in the exchanges from the inception of Obamacare to today, 221% increase in premiums. The CPI over that same time period is about 39%, and in the individual market, it was about, 68%. And so you're looking at a huge above the any other healthcare plan out there and everything else that we buy in our economy, 2 or 3 times that for the cost of an Obamacare policy. So it's a failure. So what are we doing? Well, as you point out, we're going to put money into people's pockets. And instead of having the money go directly to the insurance companies, which is the way the Obamacare works today, have the American people, through an HSA account that they manage, be able to spend that money in the way that they want to spend it. The flaws in Obamacare are many, but right now these enhanced subsidies, what we call the Biden COVID bonuses, actually, what they do is they take the income limit off, so there's no people making $500-600 grand a year can actually now get subsidies from the federal government. There are $0 premiums, so a lot of people in this country don't even know they're covered because the insurance companies are incentivized to auto-enroll them. It is a flawed structure. It doesn't work. What we're talking about here has been scored by the CBO to actually reduce premiums by double digits, and so we're going to put on a plan on the floor that does that takes the power and the money away from the insurance companies and put it back in the hands of the American people.
Okay, well, you are passing the largest tax cut in American history, including no tax on tips, overtime, Social Security for working men and women, the elderly in this country. Democrats simultaneously voted for the largest tax increase. They didn't vote with working men and women, and they didn't vote to give relief to retired people and the elderly that live on Social Security. And they're the ones lecturing us about affordability. Now, the president's pushing back that he and we, the country, inherited an economic mess and that he's built out these building blocks that we're now seeing, the beginning of a real recovery here. How does that impact 26?
I think in a big way. I mean, if you look at what the Democrats did, $6 trillion of spending actually leads to inflation, and we saw double-digit inflation, something we hadn't seen since the 1980s under Joe Biden. So President Trump comes in, we cut taxes, no tax on tips, no tax on overtime, as you said, lower taxes on seniors who are on Social Security, expanded child tax credit for businesses, bonus depreciation, interest deductibility, R&D expensing, 199A deduction for small businesses, incentivize business to invest in America, lower taxes on working families in this country, unleash American energy, as you pointed out earlier, and lower the cost of the heavy hand of regulation. And you're going to get an economy that's growing and expanding. And that's good for the American people because it creates better paying jobs. They're better able to take care of their families. And this idea that somehow Trump is responsible for inflation just doesn't fit the facts. It was the Biden administration that spent $6 trillion and drove us into double-digit inflation.
All right, Majority Leader John Thune, thank you. And